When it comes to photographing the homes you've designed, I can't stress how important professional photography is. Yes, it's quite an investment. Before I was honored with this position and the opportunity to speak with you every Monday, I was the managing director of an architectural firm in Palm Beach, Florida. We had one brochure with a couple of interior shots and exterior shots of just one house. But this was back in the early 2000s, before you needed a website and a digital portfolio. But that was also before we started carrying a handheld computer, camera, and 3D scanner around in our pockets. Now, registration for the 2022 American Residential Design Awards is open, and I have a couple of editions that I'd like to enter. Editions are a side hustle, so there's no budget for professional photography, not to mention the time to set it all up and be there to supervise. Now, while walking around in Denver with one of our BIM traders, I saw a billboard that said, "Shot with an iPhone." So this week, I researched how to take pictures with my smartphone like a pro. Here's what I learned. There's more to it than snapping photos of houses. Photos can highlight design elements that are both aesthetically pleasing and accurate. The images need to accurately represent the essential details of the house and how they interact with their surroundings. Tip number 1, create a first impression. What is it about the house that draws you in? Whatever it is that gives you pause, stop and ask yourself, how can I capture that feeling in this photo? Think about how to frame the shot to capture the best angles and perspectives to tell your design story. Snapping a picture with your phone is easy, but creating a photograph takes thought and practice. Tip number 2, zoom with your feet. Suppose you're shooting with an iPhone model with different lenses. In that case, you have the opportunities to experiment with angles. Otherwise, move around physically. Don't be lazy and use the zoom feature. Tip number 3, shoot the exterior at the golden hour. You don't want harsh shadows or bright sunlight. Both make photos appear flat, and the deep shadows obscure all the beautiful details. The golden hour is just before sunset or just after sunrise. That time of day produces warm tones, soft shadows, and beautiful light. Tip number 4, go up or down for the right perspective. In an interior, shooting from the belly button height makes the room look larger. Tip number 5, use a tripod and get one of those gizmos that connect your smartphone to the top of the tripod. Some smartphones have voice commands. I can set mine to take a photo when somebody says cheese, or use a remote exposure release. The point is to avoid using your finger and nudging the phone. Tip number 6, use selfie mode in tight spaces. That is, use the front-facing lens. For example, inside a bathroom, reverse the lens and stick the phone deep into a corner to capture as wide an angle possible. It's not an actual selfie. It won't be easy, but keep yourself out of the shot. Using a timer gives you time to get out of the way. Lastly, tip number 7, wipe off your lens before you shoot. If you're a mom or dad, there might be some brownie residue hanging around. There's so much more to cover, like aerial photography with a drone, so I've created some resources. Go to aibd.org/smartphone-tips to check out some blog posts and YouTube videos. There's about an hour of pre-recorded education, and there are no cost or membership restrictions to access it. There's also no CE credits awarded. As I said, the ARDA registration is open. We've added a link that gives you an interactive preview of what an entry form looks like, just in case you've never entered and you're curious. Visit residentialdesignawards.com to check it out. Also, go back to the email that brought you here to see what else is happening this week in AIBD. Thanks for watching the whole video, and have a triumphant week.